Steps in Selenium test cases. See, observe. Different types of, observe this point carefully, Srinivas. Different types of steps, different types of steps in Selenium test cases. See, in our Selenium test cases, we use different types of tests. Try to identify the different types of steps in Selenium test cases. First one, it is important one. It is important one. Selenium WebDriver test step. Or Selenium WebDriver action. In this step, theoretical observe, locating an element, and performing an action on the element. This is important step na, Srinivas. We regularly use this type of step na.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Example, suppose driver dot find element of by dot name, name locator value, username, next dot send K capital, send keys, here username, suppose Srinivas at 123, username, close semicolon. This is one type of step. Here parameter is there. Parameter is there for WebDriver action. Send keys action, parameter is there. Suppose without parameter also, suppose click on Gmail link in Google homepage. For click action, no parameter required. By dot link text value Gmail, close two brackets. Next, click open and close round brackets or parenthesis semicolon. Observe Sandhya. First step, example. These are examples. The selected step. In the selected step, WebDriver action, send keys action requires parameter, argument. Second action, this selected action, click action, no parameter. Okay?
Yes,
two
sir.
examples. Next, this is one type of step. This is common step, mandatory step in every test case. Next, declaration statements. Declaration statements are generally what we declare in our test cases. Fields nothing but variables and methods. Okay. Suppose example, string line, int num, like variable declaration. Methods also, you know how to declare methods. Next, Another type, writing comments. These are not executable units. Writing comments. For example, sample command, capture the current page URL. Current page URL. This writing comments purely optional. Purely optional. Next, programming code blocks. Programming code blocks. What type of code blocks we write in our test cases, Sindhu? Java code blocks identify. We may use if code block. We may use if code block. We may use if code block. Next,
For loops.
For while code block. While code block. Next, this tomorrow we will use this one. Constructor code block. Constructor code block. Method code block. Method code block. Constructor code block. Code block. Next, inserting verification method calls. Method calls in our test cases, HIMO. Method calls. We use method calls now. Suppose object dot method name of arguments. Okay, na?
Yes, sir.
Method calls. Next, inserting verification points. Verification points. Say, here we use we selected Java for Selenium. Here we use either JUnit or SNG assert methods. I will show one or two examples. Don't focus. Next class, Monday class, we will discuss this one. Okay. Example. Suppose assert equals assert equals. Don't focus on this command. Assert equals. For example, the actual is URL, comma. The expected is, suppose our project URL. Suppose our project URL. Just a minute. I use my project URL. Suppose index.php. Index.php. Close semicolon. This is one assert statement. In verification point. This is for equals Srinivas. Suppose for match case, here also logic required. See, assert assert dot assert true of for example expected actual error message dot contains just a minute, take that error message where I used that one. This is cross browser, not here. Online catalog. Where we used error message? This one. Observe Sandhya contains.
Yes, sir.
This verification point, test-ng verification selected test-ng verification point HIMO for
Yes,
match case contains first one exact match. Assert equal is exact match. Anyhow, that we will discuss later. Okay.
sir, question here. Sir, I think I'm not sure I'm asking the right question. Sir, when we compare actual versus expected results, so we are copying the, like, before verifying, we are copying that message, whatever is text. Then we are putting in the text case. Then we are running the test case, right, sir? That's where we use, or do we have any different methods to do the actual and expected results comparison?
Question is first of all not clear.
Okay, sir. Yeah.
Several times I told we need to prepare expected.
Okay, sir. Yeah.
We need to prepare expected. Generally, you need not write this type of feature file. You select manual test cases now.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
In that manual test cases, you can find expected result from that value. Use that value in your test script.
Okay, sir. Okay.
And one more thing, already I told here, by navigating, by exploring the application, I am getting user interface URL, error message, help message, etc. This is not the, several times I told.
Yes,
This
sir.
is
You
not
told
the
me.
proper way in real time. In real time, we need to collect the data from developers, not you.
Yeah.
Manual testers may collect that information while creating manual test cases. If you select manual test cases, you can directly start writing your automation test cases. Any problem?
Yeah. No, sir. I'm good, sir. Now. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah.
Welcome. Observe. Next. Exception handling code. Exception handling code. Here, try catch blocks. Any other identify Srinivas? Any other identify? Try to identify. Any other? We covered test steps, comments, programming code block methods, variable declarations, verification points. Any other exception handling code for handling runtime error? It is optional. This observe. This exception handling code not mandatory, not optional. See, writing comments optional, but exception handling code it is not either mandatory or optional. It depends. Getting?
Yes, sir.
It depends on the test case functionality. Suppose you are verifying the existence of an element, that time definitely it is required. It depends on the test case functionality.
Sir, leap time can we write as a
Yes, that is also yes, that is also one step. Good observation. See, that is technical term, inserting synchronization. Inserting synchronization points, one or more in our script based on requirement. It depends. Suppose application is responding properly, then no synchronization required. Suppose application is not responding properly with for test steps, that time synchronization required. Anyhow, by conducting dry runs, you can identify that synchronization form. Inserting wait statements, one or more, or zero, depends on your test case. Okay, na? Any other inserting wait statements or synchronization points, technical term? Any other?
file reading also can write? Or
File reading. That is file reading. Okay, you may read text file or Excel file. Okay.
Yeah.
You may read text file or Excel file. For that, we create objects for file reading.
Yeah.
File handling. For this one, no separate statements. Say creating and using objects. Creating and using objects. Suppose if it is a flat file, create file reader, buffer reader objects and use them. Suppose if it is Excel file, that we will discuss on Monday or Tuesday. If you are Excel file, create workbook object, worksheet object and use. Any other? Identify.
Sir, question actually, I'm not sure maybe you already told.
No problem.
Reading data from Excel sheet and text file is fine. So how about the SQL server, sir? I think, did you say something about need to install third-party tool something? Or we cannot read data
That
from
one, SQL third-party
Okay.
library required.
Okay, sir. Yeah, got it. Thank you.
Third-party library, SQL library required. SQL is not built in with Java compiler.
Yeah, okay.
Next, Sindhu, raise query, Sindhu.
No, sir, I don't have anything.